We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. If you've been following me, you know that Pluto's a big thing that's going on. We've got from now until May 2nd, before we start retrograding all of these planets till the end of the year. If you've never seen me before, welcome, welcome. My name is Cindi. I'm at Simply Cindi. I hate to label myself because I have so many other modalities, but medium is who I am, part of who I am. I do astrology. I do tarot. I haven't done tarot in a while because astrology's taken a big part in mediumship and hypnosis. If you've been watching my videos, I've been doing the Pluto series. I had to stop the Pluto series for a minute, so I haven't done all the houses, but that's the important thing that's coming up is this Pluto is going retrograde. If you guys haven't seen my Pluto series, you might want to go back and watch that because that's an important thing about what's going on because it's moved into Aquarius. So I do want to tell you guys this. As far as TikTok being banned, it's not going to be banned. I mean, they're going to try, but we're going into Aquarius energy. It's not going to be banned. So it's going to look like it because, and that has to do with this Pluto retrograde going back into Capricorn at that 29 degree. But if it's banned, it would surprise me. It's going to surprise me if it's banned. I don't think it's going to be banned. I mean, they're going to try whatever they're going to do, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't feel it. There's a lot of things. We're going to have a lot. Right now, it's a lot about upheaval. And I told you guys that with this going on here. I think a couple of lives ago, we talked about that Uranus, Jupiter conjunct and some upheaval. And the last time that had happened in Taurus was 1941, right? And so if you look back in history, in 1941, that was kind of the, the upheaval that happened. I won't say all the words because, you know how the algorithm is. But anyway, there's upheaval, and there's upheaval that's going to happen. If you just look at the charts and look at the history, you can see it in there. But as far as like the impressions I'm getting, yeah, I don't think TikTok's going to be banned. And we'll see. We'll see, because things can change. If that changes, I'll let you guys know. But right now, the thing that I'm getting is that it's not going to get banned. But now is the time. So we've got like 5 days, 7 days until May 2nd. So we've got May 2nd before this turns retrograde. So Pluto's going to turn retrograde. Right? Now, what's been going on over the last 6 months, and then in the last 16 years, there's been some bigger issues in the world that is going on that you're going to see. It's going to come back to light because this is the time. Pluto is going back into Capricorn, and whatever it's going to take down, because Capricorn's about structures, it's about systems, right? And so whatever that is, that's what's going to be focused on. So if you notice now that it's about to turn retrograde, you can kind of see, if you think of Pluto as a personality, right? You can kind of see Pluto looking back at Capricorn. And that's the way I kind of see them. They're kind of characters for me. Pluto's turning back to Capricorn and said, we're not finished and I'm coming back, right? And so we had been focused on AI, future thinking, future stuff going on. But now it's already looking back at Capricorn, which is about the structures. It's about the systems. It's about, what we had to progress through the last 16 years, right? And so it's already looking back, and you can kind of see it looking back. We're already starting to focus on what are we going to do about the government? What are we going to do about the school system? What are we going to do about the healthcare system? What are we going to do about, you can see us, our energy is already looking back because we're about to go back, and it's going to retrograde to the 29th degree. That is a very powerful degree in any sign, okay? So that degree in any sign. So on a global level, that's what's going to be happening. On a personal level, wherever Capricorn is in your chart, in your natal chart will tell you it's going to be like the final, because Pluto's about trauma, right? And overcoming the trauma and getting through the trauma and transmuting the trauma. And some of you, a lot of you, this trauma has to do with past lives. This trauma has to do with your DNA. This trauma has to do with, why am I always anxious? I wasn't an anxious person. Why am I an anxious person? Nothing ever happened to me, but I'm so anxious. But then I see my whole family anxious, right? So you kind of have that. I mean, that's just a scenario. But, some people, um, wherever this is for you on the 29th degree, that's going to come around. So if you haven't gotten through it, and that's why I was doing the Pluto series, but I got disrupted personally because my chart is ruled by Uranus, right? So my life switches on a dime, right? It can switch on a dime. And so I ended up having to be uprooted, and I wouldn't say uprooted because I had intention of coming this way anyway. It just happened a little sooner than I thought it was going to happen, right? So just like everybody else, this disruptive Uranus Jupiter, it happened to me personally. So I couldn't finish the Pluto series. I'm going to finish the Pluto series. So anyway, this Pluto, you're going to see us looking back there. You're going to see us refocusing on that. And this is the last time that Pluto is going to be, when it retrogrades, it goes back into Capricorn. That's the last time it's going to be in Capricorn, I think, for 251 years. So this is it. Whatever structures are going to be taken down are going to be taken down. I have been talking about this for the last 6 or 8 months, 6 months, I think. Yeah, really 4 and 5 months. But the last 6 months, I've been talking about how important this Pluto is, because the structures, this is the time from now until October. Let me check real quick. Sorry, from now until October 2nd, that's what we're going to be working on. Those structures are going to fall. Whether it's government, whether it's the school systems, whether it's the healthcare systems. I've said this from the beginning. I've said this probably for a couple years now. Maybe even 4 years. I've said this when I've come on YouTube and talked about Pluto. Because, Pluto's very prominent in my chart, so it's always a focus for me. But I think that's part of my work, is helping people through this Pluto. But anyway, I've said this for about 4 years. Structures will come down. Even ones that we didn't think could will come down if they do not change. So either you change, you adapt as we progress forward, as humanity progresses forward, as society progresses forward, because forward we're in Aquarius, right? So these structures have to change. So either it's going to change or it's going to come down. And I have been talking about the last time that Pluto is going to retrograde into Capricorn. I've been saying this for the past 6 or 8 months. Once this happens, this is when the real work happens, right? With Pluto. And so now's that time that I have been talking about for the last couple years. Now is that time that things are going to happen. It is going to be restructured, or it is going to come down, even if it doesn't look like it could. I mean, we know that the government and the school system and the healthcare system, those are just things I'm thinking of. But there's lots of systems that have needed to be brought down or changed, right? Because we are no longer going to be in Capricorn energy. We're in Aquarius energy now, and you can see it. You can see people coming together. You can see people actually looking at the group society instead of just themselves, right? And there is nothing wrong with looking at yourself first, right? But because self-preservation is key, right? But this is Aquarius energy. And if y'all know, I'm an Aquarius ascending, Aquarius rising. So it's about humanity and our self-preservation, right? So there's a way to do it, and Aquarius are really good at this. There's a way to do it where we can keep our anonymity, keep our independence, and work in groups. That's what Aquarius is really good at. And that's what we're going to be learning over the next 20 years. But we have to take some of these structures down. let me say that again. We're not taking anything down. These structures are going to fall. Okay. We just have to be prepared and ready. Does all that make sense to everybody? You know, I'm not about like, oh, let's, yeah, I'm not about the warmongering and all that stuff, you know. But I do want to let everybody know what is going on and what you need to be prepared for. I have said this for a while with my channeling. Um, 2024 is about the change, and then 2025, we just got to get through 2025 and 2026. And I know things are hard for everybody right now. I know they are. They're not easy for a lot of people, but we can do it together. You can do it independently, but this is what our growth is that we don't have to. Does that make sense to everybody? Remember, retrogrades are about reevaluating, reassessing, redoing, almost pivoting, right? Here we go. So I just wanted to have this out. So this is May 2nd, right? This is when Pluto's going to go retrograde. It is in Aquarius right now. So what we've been learning through Aquarius since Pluto went into Aquarius, so think about the last 4 months, right? 3 months. 3 months, 4 months. Whatever, that's going to come up again, okay? So in your house of Aquarius, whatever we've been seeing, I'm looking on a global level, but if it's personal, wherever your Aquarius house is, whatever you've been kind of dealing with, you may have to reassess that. But the big events are going to happen when it goes into Capricorn, okay? Now, if you look, when it retrogrades here on the 2nd, it's still squaring that sun, okay? So the sun is our ego, the sun is our clarity, the sun is who we are, right? Or who we think we are. We really are ascendant, but this is into focus because we want to like, I have to explain this a different way some other time, but your ascendant is who you really are, but to get to who you really are consciously, you want to go through your sun. I don't know if that'll make any sense to people. It may confuse people. I'll try to do another video about it. But this is going to square this. So this is going to be like, okay, I thought I knew what this was, but I think I'm right. And Pluto's like, nope, you gotta look at it again. And you're like, but I've already looked at it a million times. And Pluto's like, we can do this 2 ways. Either you can see it or I can take it, right? So that could be happening. Pluto is also, look at this, okay? It's going to be talking to the North Node. It's going to be talking to Mercury. It's a good talk. They're hearing each other. And it's about you moving through your destiny, okay? That's going to be happening, and that's what you guys are going to be working on in the first part of when Pluto goes into retrograde, okay? So it's also trining here, right? So it has to do with what you're doing out in the world as well, okay? But again, remember we got this going on. So in the world, on a global level, in society, this is about whose ideas are we going to accept if we're willing to work with everyone, okay? Because Saturn wants us to work, wants Pisces, and wherever Pisces is in your house, whatever house you have, what do you believe in? And the reason it's having Pisces question that is because he wants you to have some integrity and authenticity. Let me say this another way for those of you that have on the spectrum, autistic, high masking. Saturn is trying to get you to unmask. Who are you really? Does that make sense? You no longer need to mask. You need to be authentic, but who is that if you've always masked? Is that a better way of saying that where everybody understands? This is Neptune. I thought I was this, because this is the way I always did it, because this is the way I learned, but I don't need to do that anymore. And that's what Daddy Saturn tried to teach you. Okay? Be authentic. But if you've never had the opportunity to really be authentic, and honestly, that's what the 2019, 2020, you know, what happened to all of us that caused us to stop and start to go within. He wants you to be your authentic self. That's all he's asking. He's asking you to be your authentic self. Because how many of you know Aquarians that don't like authenticity? We are all about authenticity, right? We're going into Aquarian energy. You have got to be authentic. There is no more of this, oh, I thought it was one way, this passive aggressive, this blah, blah, blah. No, we're not doing that. Aquarians do not like that. We will shut that down and walk away real quick. We don't like it. And we're not the only sign. Scorpio doesn't, Capricorn doesn't. Capricorn will deal with it. Sagittarius doesn't. At all. My moon. Nope. But it's no longer we can go between the lines. No, we're going at the line. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.